Hi, my loves. Welcome back to Devotional. Today, we're going to be talking about how to respond to sexual messages that are unfucking warranted, unwanted. I'm going to be sharing my own personal stories of something that recently happened to me, and I was just like, boy, there's no way you think that you're talking to me like that. Okay, I'll get into that story later. But before we get into that, what I see, especially with the people that I work with, is there's this fear around responding in a really direct way of, okay, this made me feel a certain way. And I felt it in my body. It's almost like some people feel a collapse. Some people feel like they've been hit by a bus. It's like literally that energy that just fucking hits you. And you're just like, oh my God, I don't know what to fucking say to this. You freeze, you shut down, you get really uncomfortable. And that's okay. All of those responses are absolutely fucking okay. And can we also learn to vocalize and assert ourselves in these situations, even if we're feeling that response? Now, this is going to take some practice. Okay. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, because I, a very long time ago, people used to make fucking comments all the time, and I would just giggle and laugh. I remember I had this, he was never a friend. I thought he was, but I was kind of oblivious, and just intuition was not intuitioning at that time. And I remember I had gone out with who I thought was a friend, and I literally was. I do this with my hair a lot because honestly, my hair is so big and it's always in my face, and so I do this a lot. And I remember, now I have hair sticking up. And I remember when I got home that night, this person sent me a message and he was like, wow, you look so sexy when you're pushing your hair to the side. And I was really clear with him from the get go that we were just friends. And I had never ever thought about him in that way. In fact, I had dated his friend. So, anyway, and I laughed it off. Okay, this is many years ago, but I laughed it off and I was like, oh, he's just being nice. And deep down, I fucking knew. I knew what he was trying to do. And what that might have seemed like an innocent comment, I picked up on it intuitively. One, I know who this guy is, and just, I'm not even gonna give it that energy right now, but just trust me on this one. Like, when somebody makes a comment and you can feel the darkness in it or you can feel the heaviness in it, I want you to trust that because you're not going crazy. You're not making a big deal about it. That's your intuition fucking speaking to you and your body telling you this is not it. Okay. So I tell you that. So the old Sam used to laugh things off and giggle and be like, ha, that's so funny. And the Sam now, okay, I'm going to tell you the recent story. Somebody who I thought was a friend, okay, this is somebody I hadn't really spoken to in a long time, but I was exploring the friendship, okay. We had gone out once and not on a date, just spent time as friends. And I was very clear that whenever I go out with a guy, okay, I make it clear, I make it very clear when I'm not interested, okay. Because some people be thinking my niceness and me being kind is an invitation to me liking them or for them to make a move. And I don't want any misunderstandings. Okay. And let me tell you, with this person, he had specifically said out loud to other people because we were in public when we had gone out and somebody had asked us if we were a couple. And he said, no, we're just friends. And I said, yep, we are just friends. Okay, great. He understands. Okay. Then a week later, I get a random fucking message. This guy must have been drunk or no idea. And okay, Brittany, my best friend, if you don't know, but you probably do know if you're a regular listener, this should be the Brittany and Sam podcast, even though she's not presently here. She doesn't speak on the podcast, but I speak about her a lot. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off topic. But me and Brittany had come to visit me in Mexico and this week, and I was like laying in bed with her, and we were just on our phones, and I all of a sudden she heard me go, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "What happened?" And I showed her the message, and this guy the guy who I had spent some time with as a friend was like, I can't even remember exactly I don't remember the word for word, but basically he was like, "Oh, when you get back from Canada," because I'm currently in Canada right now, he knew I was traveling. "When you get back from Canada, you have to tell me about the sexual energy that you embody and emanate." There was no conversation before this. We'd never talked about. Sometimes I think people think that they can say that shit to me because I'm an intimacy coach, because I talk about sex openly and I'm not afraid to have those conversations. But there's a difference in talking about those conversations and then using it as like a sexualized weapon to, I'm gonna use the word manipulate or to, I don't know, like it just felt fucking weird when he said that. And me and Brittany, we were looking at this and I'm showing her phone and both of our faces were like, what the fuck? This is fucking weird. And she's like, why would he say that? That's weird. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And she was like, why don't you ask him like what he means by that? I'm like, no, I know exactly what he means by that. And just because I picked up on some stuff, okay? Wasn't as direct as that, but let's just say I picked up on some stuff as we had spent time together as friends, because I remember that day after I was just like, never again. This is a one-time friendship hangout. No fucks given. No fucks given. But whatever, I'm still going to be kind and nice because he didn't do anything to me at that point. But then when he said that, I was pissed. I was just like, what makes you think that it's okay to say something like that to me? Okay. And I had left it overnight. At first I said, you know what? I'm not even going to energize this. I'm going to be discerning with my energy. And you guys know I'm all about that. And then I said, okay, and this is something that you guys have to think about too, of what is actually going to make you feel better about it. Is it going to make you feel better to say something to someone? Okay. Or is it going to make you feel better to just move on, not pay it any mind? And that gets to be different in every situation. So in that moment, I said, I'm not even going to energize this. I'm just going to leave it. And the next day, I saw that he deleted the comment. He deleted the WhatsApp message. Okay. I'm like, oh, he thinks he can hide this? He thinks he can erase this and pretend like it didn't happen because he thought I hadn't seen it. I sure as hell sent him a fucking message. I said, by the way, I already saw what you wrote and it was very inappropriate and made me feel very uncomfortable. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. That's why I deleted it. I said, oh, so instead of you saying sorry for writing that because you knew that it was inappropriate, you said, I'm going to delete it. He said, I didn't think that you saw it. I said, exactly. So you would rather not take accountability, delete it, not take initiative to say, hey, I made a mistake. And there was not really any accountability until I fucking called it out, right? Is that even accountability if you call it out first? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, and I just said it how it was. I said, no, this is not acceptable. It was very disrespectful. And that's that. And then I deleted his fucking number and deleted him off of all of my socials because I'm a fucking savage like that. See, people think this is people get very mixed up about this with me because they think, oh, she's so sweet and she's so kind. Yeah, I am. Until you fucking cross me. Okay? Because trust me, I can be the opposite. And that's probably the version of me that you deserved. So, anyway, sharing that story because what a huge transformation of somebody who would 10 years ago would have laughed that off and said, what do you mean by that? Oh, you're so funny. Oh, and like the uncomfortable, No. Baby girl, baby boy. If somebody is making unwarranted, unwanted, sexualized comments at you, you better fucking believe that you need to say something. Okay? Now, obviously, if you're in a situation that's like your physical harm is at stake, that might differ in what you say, okay? But we're not talking about those situations. We're talking about situations like what I explained. And we're talking about people who think that they can have access to your fucking energy and say shit like that to you. Say shit like that just makes you feel fucking uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's not my first time hearing something like that. And yes, it doesn't mean that you don't have sexual energy or that like you're going to close yourself off by setting a boundary with that. But there you need to decide when it's wanted, when it's not wanted, by whom it's wanted from. Okay, those two things are the differentiator between when it's wanted or unwarranted. Okay. And even with that, are you able to think about, say you have a partner and they say a sexual comment that you really don't like and it makes you feel degraded. But you think, oh, they're my partner. They can say that to me. Or I don't wanna rock the boat. I don't want them to think that like I'm not down or that like I'm no fun because I don't want to hear those things. No, decide what makes you feel good and comfortable and then be convicted in that. Share your voice in that and have those conversations before in a relationship. But if somebody like a rando, like this guy that I'm telling you about, is saying shit like that to you, yo, you don't have to laugh it off. You most definitely don't have to stay silent unless you want to, unless you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna leave it. But especially with someone, for me, I think using my voice, because I hadn't used my voice before, it is actually really important for me to say things. And you can say something and then not give it energy after. You can say, okay, I said what I had to say, and now I'm going to move forward. So that you're not suppressing what's actually coming up for you in your body. And then you're moving forward saying, oh, fuck, I should have said something. Or, oh my God, that made me feel so uncomfortable. And then you're like thinking about it. When I set that boundary with him, his response, he's like, oh, I never meant to make you feel uncomfortable. I never meant to disrespect you. Okay, but you did. And yes, he's a human. We all make mistakes. But truly, with that comment, there's no blurred lines with that. That was very direct. Okay, so people oftentimes, okay, not all the time, but people oftentimes do know what they're doing when they're making unwarranted sexual comments. Okay, and I know that it's unfair that you have to constantly use your voice. It can be really exhausting. It can be really exhausting, right? But I think too, if you're somebody like me who had suppressed their voice for such a long time, that using your voice is actually going to be liberating because, yo, let me tell you, after I fucking said something, I felt so much better. And I was just like, who the fuck does this guy think he's talking to? Because he's seen that very sweet and loving side of me. That's all he's known of me, right? And let me tell you, you can be that and you can be bold as fuck. You can be savage as fuck. You can be fucking savage and sweet. You can be so savage and you can be so sweet at the same time. And that's the balance that you want. Because when you don't have any boundaries, when you're being too sweet, okay, and when I say too sweet, the people pleasing tendencies are coming up. People are going to think that they can walk all over you. People are going to think they can say whatever they want to you. Imagine I engaged in that. Imagine I put ja ja ja, lol, or I continued the friendship. He would be like, oh, she's okay with that. I can continue to say shit like that to her. Absolutely fucking not. And so I want you to think about, and even if it's not sexual comments, I want you to think about the fucking comments that people have made to you in the past, currently as well too, and you're like, that did not sit fucking well with me. And the times where you might have not said something, what would you want to say? How do you want to respond to it? Now, I know this episode is talking about, okay, how I'm supposed to be telling you how to navigate through these unwarranted comments, but I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to respond to it? That's how I want to respond to it. I did want to respond to it with attitude. I did want to respond to it with the don't fuck with me energy. Because for me, Okay. And this is just for me personally. And this might resonate with you, it might not. Okay. But for me, because I am so open energy, I have this open energy, I have this open heart, I am very sweet. But once I feel like somebody's taking advantage of me, no, because I have already gone through that phase of my life of being taken advantage of. And let me tell you, I was very tired of it. And that's why I don't allow it in my life anymore. Even if it shows up in that slightest way, especially when somebody knows what they're doing. It's different if somebody makes an honest mistake in communication, right? And again, there's that piece of the repair piece of taking ownership. This specific story, somebody was trying to hide what they were doing, right? And so this is what I mean is people, a lot of times people know what they're doing. So how do you want to respond to people like that? The people who know what they're doing, the people who are doing that intentionally, the people who are trying to purposefully push your boundaries to see how far they can take advantage of you. How do you want to respond to that? And I want you to think about the ways for you individually, okay, not based on my story. I'm sharing my story that it's personal to me. And again, that might resonate with you. And if it does, amazing. But if there's another way that you want to navigate it, maybe you don't want to say anything back and you want to work on discerning your energy and saying, I'm not even going to energize that. Maybe it's something you just move forward from. Like, cool. If that's something that's not going to be suppressed in your body and suppressed in your mind and replaying over again and again, saying, oh, I should have said this, or oh my God, that felt so uncomfortable. And maybe you have to see this person, excuse me. Maybe you have to see this person and these comments continue and like, it's just like there's so many different experiences that and situations that people might be going through. So that's why I'm throwing out these different scenarios, right? You have to decide how you want to actually respond to it. So if you could for a moment close your eyes, I'm going to do this with you. So just close your eyes and just connect to your breath here. Connect to your body. Deep breath in. And big exhale through the mouth. Deep breath in. And big exhale through the mouth. Just start to feel your body relax here. Start to connect to that piece of you where, if you can, in the safest way possible, start to bring up a scenario where somebody made a comment, an unwarranted comment, whether it's sexual or not. And bring up that sensation that showed up in your body when they said that to you. Did you feel like collapsing? Did you feel a tightness in your chest? Did you feel like you froze? Did you feel like you shut down? What was it? So name that sensation. And if you can, I want you to pretend that there's like a knob, like on the stove. When you're turning the knob, you're trying to turn up the heat on the stove. Can you turn that dial up slightly and feel that sensation slightly more? And where is it showing up in your body? Good. Let's turn it up slightly more. Feel it amplified. And it's getting to the point where it's, when you turn the stove on too hot and then it burns the food and it's like, maybe it's exploding, or I'm being dramatic, but maybe it's exploding, or maybe it's sizzling up and overflowing. Maybe the pot is overflowing because it's on such high heat. And I want you to feel that with that emotion. And as it's at its peak and it's, holy fuck, like I'm ready to fucking explode, I'm ready to fully shut down whatever that emotion is, whatever that sensation is, wherever that's happening in your body. I want you to connect with that. Connect with the sensation, connect with the emotion, connect with that place in your body. So maybe it's happening in your stomach, maybe it's happening in your heart. And I want you to give it a voice. What action, what direction does it want to take? What does it want to fucking say back? But maybe right now in that moment, it doesn't feel like it can because of the collapse, because of the shutdown, because of the freezing. Okay, maybe because of the appeasing piece of it too. But if we were to strip away the appeasing, if we were to strip away the shutdown, the freeze, whatever response it's going into, and maybe you just start to notice it like almost, let's picture it as a curtain. Maybe you're like opening the curtains. Okay? You're opening the curtains and you're pulling back layer by layer the sensation, the emotion. You're making space for it to just be. And you've made space for it to fully come out and express itself in the way that it actually fucking wants to. So when you give it that voice and it's pushing through the curtains, it's like, I'm fucking ready to be expressed. I'm ready to say what the fuck I want to say right now. And it's coming out right now. Let it come out right now. 1, 2, 3. Say it out loud. Good. Is there anything else? Express it. Like maybe there's more on your heart, on your mind. Maybe you're talking about how you feel about it, how the comment made you feel, how the gesture, the action. And then maybe you're actually providing a directive of stop doing that. I don't like XYZ. Stop doing that. It makes me feel XYZ. Stop doing that. Deep breath in. And exhale. And just notice how that feels. Do you feel relief? Does it feel like maybe you've activated something in your nervous system too of, okay, this doesn't feel safe to say. I've never said this before. And this feels weird. Maybe it feels scary. Maybe you feel shaky, anxious still. And that's okay. Okay, let whatever emotions come up, let them come up so that you can practice saying these things, letting the emotions come up that need to. And then you will notice as you keep practicing this, the emotions still might be there. They might just not be as amplified. And even if they are, you can now say, I fucking said something. I vocalized. I asserted myself, not just with my words, but with follow-up actions, because that's something that we want to think about too. Maybe we set the boundary. Are you willing to hold the boundary now? Okay. I can use my example. I could have entertained and engaged in the conversation, and I chose to delete him from my social media. So what's your follow-up action? What's the follow-up action for you? Maybe that's removing yourself from the situation. Maybe it's ending the friendship. Maybe it's repair. Okay? You get to decide. This is your life. And every single one of these experiences are teaching us something. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale, express gratitude for yourself for showing up in this way. For showing up and saying, I did the damn fucking thing by expressing myself, by standing up for myself. The best thing you can ever do in your life is stand up for yourself, not let anybody fuck with you and take advantage of you. And that's an identity piece. It's a nervous system piece. And it's something that we're going to be continuing to work on because it's forever evolving. None of us are perfect in this. And that's why having these practices through visualization or practices in safe spaces with your coach, with your therapist, is going to help, because you're going to be building that foundation of safety to be able to execute it into the real world when there's real life situations happening. And you can open your eyes now, by the way, and just tune into your body and notice how you're feeling. And maybe you're going to journal about this and say, wow, for the first time, for the second time, for the however many time, I expressed how I felt and I did what I had to do. And whether you did that in real time or in the visualization, you still did it. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you did it in real time or not. You're going back and you're using your subconscious to rewire and rewrite these patterns so that when it does show up again in your life, that you're prepared and you're safe enough to do that. And safety isn't always having a calm nervous system. It's doing the thing anyway, even if you're scared. Okay. So I hope that this exercise helped you. And I want you to continue to ask yourself how you want to respond to these things. Okay. Again, it might look different than having the attitude energy that I have. Maybe it's calming for you. Maybe you have a calmer conversation. That's always good too, right? I would just advise you to really connect to your intuition because sometimes I want to be mindful with how I'm wording this, but sometimes even when we can have those calm conversations, I'm just a big believer that some people just need to hear things in a direct way to understand the shishy means business. Because, and again, it depends of the personality type of the other person, right? With certain people, with my personal relationships, certain people I can have those conversations with, and it's always the people who've done the work on themselves and who are like really in tune with their bodies and their boundaries. And it's like, okay, hey, this came up and this bothered me. Okay, let's talk about it. Oh, this is what I actually meant. Okay. And then we move forward with love, right? You can go about it in that way too. But there is a specific energy that I believe is required when it comes to situations like I explained with myself, where people are, whether they're consciously or unconsciously, saying and doing things in an aggressive way. And when I say aggressive, the aggressiveness doesn't always mean physically, it can be energetically aggressive. Okay, even if it's like a sentence. Even if it's one sentence, that one sentence can hold so much fucking darkness and aggression and just not so feel greatness in it, right? And those things, I believe, require a deep amount of assertion. And I say that because, again, I used to try and solve problems in a way where it was just always like really nice conversations. And it's sometimes people got to hear it in a direct way to be like, to understand, don't fuck with me. Okay. My love. If somebody has made a comment to you that's really hurt you, I'm sorry. And I know how that feels. I truly know how that feels. I still experience that sometimes. And I've just learned to build a really beautiful relationship with how I respond to things. And it looks so different with the different relationship, whatever the relationship dynamic is, the personality of the other person, and also just understanding your own journey and your own identity journey, your own nervous system journey, and the healing parts of your journey that are showing up. Then that's going to look different in every season of your life. But just remember, whatever season you're in, you deserve to use your voice and you deserve to be heard. And if somebody's disrespecting you, you have every fucking right to remove yourself from the situation and remove yourself from what's not feeling good and when people are like truly trying to take advantage of you. Okay. Look, just because you're nice and kind, it's not an invitation for people to invade your energy space or your physical or emotional or mental space. Okay. You're kind because you have a beautiful heart, and that's going to be valued by the right people. You're going to be respected by the right people. I've worked with a lot of survivors of sexual violence, and there's just certain things that have been said to them, whether it was through their experience of sexual violence or just things that they've heard growing up that's been like normalized. And sometimes we can normalize these like unwarranted sexual comments, and whether it's sexual or not, but we can normalize these comments and think, oh, it's okay. Like this has been happening to me my whole life. And like, no, it's still not okay. It's still not okay. And I want you to recognize that. Okay. My love, I want to help you with this because this is something that, like, if you can't tell, you can't already tell. I'm so passionate about this, and I'm so passionate about helping people feel empowered in their intimacy journey, their love journey, and just like their relationship with themselves. Because Truly, if we don't have our inner trust and inner confidence, our inner connection, intimacy, the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with other people, that ain't gonna mean shit if we don't have that within ourselves. Okay? And it takes a lot of bravery and courage to build on that and to actually show up in it. I know it took me a really long time, and it happened in phases and in seasons. And I'm really proud to say where I am right now. And I'm proud too, like with my clients. I've witnessed amazing transformations with my clients where they've gone to like people who have been shy and not wanting to hurt people's feelings tell, you know what? I've had it. I've had it. I'm done with it. I recently had a client, her ex, he's trying to fuck with her. And the only reason that she's still in contact with him is because they have kids together. And he's doing the fucking most and trying to manipulate her. And she's been trying to keep the peace. And I don't want to talk badly about him and this and that. And one day he took it too far. And she came to session. She's like, Sam, I'm done. I'm absolutely done with this. And I have tried to be compassionate. I've tried to be patient and kind and forgiving. And she's like, I'm done. Because in that moment, she recognized me being quote unquote nice. It's not helping the situation. It's not helping me. It's not helping my kids. It's not helping him either, even though he might think that. Because she's not allowing him to treat her like that anymore. And she's standing up for what her rights are and how she deserves to be treated. So to see her, because she's just such a pure fucking soul. I love her so much. I love her so much. To see her go from being really shy to say something to, I've had it. I'm fucking done. It's a gift for me. And this is what I mean is like, these are the things that I see genuinely on a daily basis because the clients that I work with, a lot of them I work with for many years, and just seeing the transformation, it's a gift to me. And so I would love, love, love to hear about your story to help you through while you're going through your transformation. And we're going to make magic together. So hit me up in my DMs if you're interested in working one on one with me. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with your friends, share it to your story. There's so many people who need to hear this, and this helps with getting more visibility for myself as well too. It would mean so much to me. If you haven't rated the podcast already or left a review or left a comment, it would also mean the world to me as well too. I love you guys. I will catch you in the next episode, and bye for now.